Hello there, everyone. Hello, power parents and community influencers. This is Dr. Carmen, your go to PhD for supporting your daughters through her various life periods. So, we are all about supporting each other, uplifting each other, providing tips, sharing questions, sharing concerns, sharing triumphs when it comes to dignifying our daughter's life period. So that's what we are all about. So this group is for power parents and also community influencers, or you may be a grandparent or a godparent or an auntie or uncle. All of that is cool for this particular group. So today, what we are doing is addressing this video has been prompted by a post from a parent, and we're going to be addressing that today. So, her concern, let me make sure I have it correctly. So, her concern is she's nervous that her daughter won't be emotionally ready for puberty. Okay, so that's one part of the concern, that she won't be emotionally ready for puberty. And then the other part of the concern or the request for support is, how do I start this conversation with her? Like, how do I even get started? So today we are going to address that in 5 simple steps. So let's go. Step number 1. Step number 1 is to get clear about your vision for your daughter. What or how do you want her to experience puberty? What are the experiences that you want her to have? Really think about the physical aspects for your vision. Think about the emotional aspects. Think about the social aspects as well. Get really clear about what you want for her. What do you see for her? What would you love for her to experience? If you could wave your magic wand and poof, create the ultimate experience of puberty for her, what would you see? What would be included in that vision? And this part is very, very important. And as you continue, throughout this process, as you think about it more, as you reflect on it more, pray on it, meditate on it, envision it, your thoughts and feelings may change, so you can always come back to this. So I highly recommend that you write this vision down, or maybe you voice record it in your phone, or you use the notes section in your phone. Whatever's the best way that works for you, you want to capture this vision, because it's going to be a working vision, and it will be important for you to easily be able to refer back to it and modify if needed. So that is tip number 1. All right, get clear about what you want for her, what you would love to see for her. So that's number 1. So step 2 is to reflect on your puberty story. That's right. Go back to when you were 11 or 12, whatever the age is, as you were entering puberty. Really reflect on your experience. What was it like? Who were the key players? How was puberty talked about, right? And you can even take specific aspects of puberty. So for our daughters, one particular aspect of puberty is menarche. That's the first time that she has a period, her very first menstruation. So if you are a person who has direct experience, you have menstruated yourself or are currently menstruating, then reflect back on what that process was like for you. What was said? What was not said? How was it talked about? What was the energy around it? Who were the key players in your learning? Now, I want you to be patient with yourself as you do this reflection process, because a lot of times as adults, we have forgotten what our experience was like. Not all of us, but for a lot of the adults that I encourage to do this, when they sit down to do it, they initially don't remember. And it takes a little bit. So allow, that experience to come forth. And even if we're talking about this particular aspect of puberty, talking about periods, dads can participate in this as well. So, as a dad, what was your experience of learning about periods? Because we all have a period story as well. So, there was some sort of way that you were introduced to it, that you learned about it, whether it was your friends or your sister or whatever it is. That's important as well. This is a very, very important step in terms of getting our daughters ready for puberty. So really, really take some time and think about, what was your experience, your whole experience of puberty. You can take particular aspects of puberty because there's a lot of them, and really, really get clear about what your experience was. All right, so that's step number 2. Now, step number 3 is to compare your vision for your daughter, right? That was step number 1. Compare your vision for your daughter, what you want for her, with your experience of puberty. All right? So, in terms of your vision for her, do you want her to have a similar experience as you? Do you want her to have a different experience than you had when you were 11? Okay? Maybe there's some aspects, that you want to be the same, that you would want her to experience. And then maybe there's some things that you would not want her to experience. So essentially, you're doing a compare and contrast. Like, okay, here's my vision. This is the ideal. This is how I would love for her to experience puberty emotionally, physically, socially. That's the vision I'm holding. Here's my experience. And what are the similarities and differences? Do I want her to experience the same thing I did? Now, if you do want her to experience the same thing you did, cool. Then you can essentially just replicate what your experience was and how you learned about it. If you don't want her to experience the same thing you did, then the follow-up question to this is, what needs to occur for her to have the vision that you're holding for her? What would need to happen? What sort of things would she need to learn? What might you need to do? All right? So that is step number 3, to compare and contrast your vision for her with what you experience, right? So now we're on to step number 4. And step number 4, once you're clear about your vision for her, you've done some reflecting on your puberty story, you've done some thinking about whether what you want for her is the same thing you experienced, right? So step number 4 then is to share your vision for her and share with her also your puberty story. Yes. So step number 4, share with your daughter your vision, what you would love to see her experience, and also share your experience. Now, what I have seen in the workshops that I've been facilitating is that young people love when they get stories of the humanness of who their parents are, right? Because, sometimes they don't see that we are people too. They don't see all of, our disappointments, our triumphs, our accomplishments, our uncertainties, our doubts. They need to know that we are people too. And sometimes we're so busy doing all the stuff we got to do with parenting, and it's a lot, but we're so busy doing that we forget to show them how human we are. We forget to share with them our stories, that yes, there was a time when we were 10, there was a time when we were 13, And in the groups that I facilitate, it almost brings me to tears to see the beautiful connection when the grown folks share their stories about puberty with the young folks. The young folks are in awe, and it's just a beautiful opportunity for connection. All right, so that is step number 4, to share your vision for her, what you would love to see, and share your experience when you were entering puberty. All right, that's step number 4. So now we're on to the final step, which is step number 5. And step number 5 is to listen to her with your heart, right? This is a different type of listening for a lot of us. Sometimes we're listening with our head, with our mind, with our brain, but we can, a lot of us can practice listening with our hearts. And so what that means is, after you've shared your vision for her, after you've shared your experience, sit back and listen with your heart. So you want to listen to what she says and also listen to what she doesn't say. That's really, really important. You want to pay attention to body language. Make note, mental note. Does it seem like she's squirming a little bit? And she might be, because unfortunately, puberty and especially periods is something that is considered taboo to discuss, which I am really trying to change so we can normalize these conversations so that they aren't so uncomfortable. So she might be a little fidgety. It's okay. Make note. All right? That's all you want to do is make note of it. Now, she may have questions after you've done your sharing. She may have questions for you that you might not have the answers to. That's okay, because you guys can decide to figure out the answers together. Maybe you Google together, okay? Or whatever it is, you guys can work together to figure out the answers, and therein lies another connecting opportunity, another bonding opportunity, right? Because the more you can build connection during this puberty time, this time of adolescence, the better, because you essentially want to plant seeds so that she'll come talk to you later down the line when some other stuff around puberty starts coming up, okay? Like romantic relationships and possibly sex. There may be questions about that. So ideally, you want her to come to you, right? So this is how we begin to plant and water and nourish those seeds of connection, right? And so after you share and then you're listening with your heart, if she shares some concerns, right, you can ask her, like maybe she raises some questions. She doesn't know what to do about a friend or whatever it is. Maybe she doesn't feel socially accepted, whatever. She may have some questions, right? And so it's really, really important that we begin to empower girls to trust their voice, to trust their inner knowing, to trust their intuition. So if she raises a question about how she should handle something, the first thing you want to do is ask her, what does your intuition tell you about how you should handle that? Now, this is probably a question she has never been asked, right? So for some girls, that can be like, oh, shoot, I don't know. I've never listened to my intuition. And for some, they'll just roll right with it, right? So ask her, what does your intuition tell you? Or what does your gut tell you about what you should do? And then wait. Don't say nothing else after that. Wait and watch, okay, what she says. So allow her the space to begin tapping into her own knowingness, to begin tapping into her own intuition. And then if she shares something, great. If she doesn't, that's okay too. You can say, you know what? Well, the answer might come to you later. Then if you have some thoughts about how she might address whatever that concern is, if she raises one, ask her for permission for you to share. I know, y'all, we grown folk. We don't need to ask no children for permission. But this is a little different approach. Ask her, are you interested in hearing about what I think? Ask her for permission, right? And so if she says, If she says yes, cool. You can share your thoughts. You might share, maybe you had that same scenario when you were her age as a kid. So you can share your experience and then go from there. So, power parents, community influencers, these are the 5 tips that I wanted to share with you today, because there's a lot of parents, many parents, who are nervous about their daughter's experience of puberty. Many, many. And there are these 5 little things that we can do to help prepare her. I also want to note that if your daughter's already in puberty, it's not too late to do this. If she's already an adolescent, it's not too late to begin. You haven't missed the boat. You can still do this, right? So I really, really want to encourage that. All right, power parents, let me see. I don't think I'm seeing any questions. Oh, hello, Sister Alicia. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so glad that you love this. Thank you for the comment. Love having you here as well. And remember, everyone, that if you find this content useful, you can invite people that may be able to benefit from this content and support, so you can invite them to the group. So that is what I wanted to share with y'all today. I do intend to be back next Sunday at 5 o'clock as well, p.m. Pacific time. That will be 8 p.m. Eastern, sharing some more nuggets about how to dignify our daughter's life periods. We got this, y'all. Until next time, bye-bye.